Hello, everybody,
Hey, gang, how's it going?
and welcome to another episode of Tim and Theo's Movie Review. That's my favorite part.
Yep. All right.
All right, guys, this time it was my turn to pick, and as you know, I am a film buff, and I decided to pick a cult classic starring one of the greatest actors in the history of cinema, Nicolas Cage. It's called Vampire's Kiss. And it is a movie.
Yeah.
So it's one of, before we go any further, I don't want the rating just yet. I have a feeling Theo enjoyed it quite a bit.
No.
So
It's the opposite.
let's hold all thoughts until the end. If you are familiar with Nicolas Cage, then you know about this movie, or should know about this movie. It was 1988. He was fresh off of stuff like Raising Arizona and that Valley Girl movie. I think it's called Valley Girl. I'm not sure, but he was the love interest in that. This was the first movie where he really caged out.
Yeah, oh my God.
He went, and he didn't start like
Full Cage.
he went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah.
So this movie was made for $2
I
million.
think he started on like 20.
Or what? I mean, I'm fighting this battle off all alone. And I'll be damned if I didn't get really turned on.
Then went to 100.
He's got this is what's weird about Nick Cage. He has a reputation of being a wild, crazy actor that does weird stuff on camera. But here's the thing. He's gotten less weird over time.
Oddly, he used to be one of my favorite actors, right in that sweet spot, right in that sweet
He
Nicolas Cage.
started so high on the crazy scale, and he's gotten a little low. Sometimes he peaks up, but this is, if you want to see crazy Nick Cage, skip Mandy and watch Vampire's Kiss.
Yes.
The whole plot of the movie is a man losing his mind, and that man is Nick Cage. So you can imagine how crazy it gets. If you're familiar with all the Nick Cage memes, the one where he's pulling his eyes back real big, or pointing and jumping on the desk, all that stuff, those are all from this movie.
Yeah.
I had been wondering where those memes came from, and then I watched this movie and I was like, oh yeah, okay, there they are. So the premise of the movie is you got this yuppie publisher guy in late 80s. He's the typical New York WASP douchebag. He snorts cocaine and goes to the club. And
A lot of cocaine.
think American Psycho, Patrick Bateman.
I was thinking this is probably where American Psycho got his shit from.
Well, no, I think he wrote that a little bit before this movie came out.
No shit.
Yeah, but it is I mean, hey, there were a lot of cocaine snorting yuppies in New York at this time.
It was the 80s.
Yeah. So, as you can imagine,
just New York.
there is a lot of white people dancing.
White people dancing, a lot of inclusion because there's a lot of blacks and whites hanging out with each other in places where blacks and whites wouldn't hang out with each other in the 80s.
Nick's character, Paul, is very down with the swirl, so he's very progressive in that area.
Said a girl who looked like Ray Dong Chong, who's apparently not Ray Dong Chong.
It's not Ray Dong Chong. But one of the craziest things about this movie where a guy thinks he becomes a vampire is that a black girl stays with him after a bat flies into the apartment. Because I've dated black women, and once bats are flying around, you're not getting any.
They think that's an omen.
It's a wrap. Yeah, you're done. So the fact that she comes back after that a little bit,
crazy.
Nah, man, she would peace out for real.
Well, do you like it?
Gotta take a piss.
So Nick Cage is dating this chick, right? Who's the non-Ray Dong Chong chick.
It's not Ray Dong.
So a bat flies into his apartment after they come back from a thing, and they freak out. They run out of the apartment. There's a little bit of butt naked. But that's when he meets Jessica Biel, a.k.a. the chick from Flashdance, where she splashed herself with the water. She was
A lot of people know Jessica Biel.
Was she a maniac in that movie?
She was
that
a maniac.
That's the song?
On the floor, yeah.
On the floor, yeah.
On the floor.
Good movie.
And she's dancing
like she's never danced before.
That's the crazy part of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of dancing in this movie that is not as good as that. She does not dance. She is a socialite who Nick Cage thinks is a vampire.
Yeah.
So they get back to his place. There is some Jessica Biel, but one word, pasties.
She has pasties on the whole time.
You may not have been able to see that back in the day, but now with HD and all that stuff, and pasties take my HD to a SD. You know what I'm saying? That's terrible, but I'm going to use that. So they mess around or whatever. And do you get it?
Solved it.
Yeah. It's a really bad joke. That's what I do. They mess around one night, right? They may not have even messed around. The movie opens with this man on a psychiatric couch.
Oh, yeah.
So you know he's already a little nutso.
He does the alphabet.
Right?
That's weird.
He does a lot of weird stuff there. But so he's obsessed with this Jessica Biel chick. She either bit him in the neck or didn't. She might not even gone home with him. We don't know. Yeah. Okay? He might just be obsessed with her. But long story short, he thinks she's a vampire.
On some Joker shit.
Yeah. So he starts hallucinating that he's a vampire. He's looking at himself, sees himself in the mirror, and thinks that he can't see himself in the mirror.
Yeah.
He's wearing sunglasses all day, pulling up his collar because the sunlight's starting to hurt him.
It's starting to hurt him.
And this is when it starts getting even weirder, if that's hard to believe. He starts he starts harassing essentially his assistant, who is played by the chick that if you needed any kind of Latino chick, Latinx. I'm sorry, it is 2024. But if you needed any kind of Latinx lady, I hate you for making me say that. That's so dumb. I apologize to all my Mexican friends in South Texas because y'all don't.
Latinx.
Ain't nobody using that bullshit.
Nobody's gonna do Latinxes.
So anyway, let's go back to the normal shit. Latina. If you needed a Latina actress in the 80s to mid 90s, who'd you call?
There you are.
Maria Conchita Alonso. And she is playing Alva, who is the secretary / assistant of this crazy man.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find a contract from the 60s. Now, this is set in 88, so they got to go through. It's all this legal hemming and hawing. There's
really no computers and stuff like that.
No, so she's got to go manually through every single file, right? So it's taking a long time, and he's saying, hey, we need it, and blah, blah, blah. Now, in reality, he don't even need it because the dude who wants it is like, oh, take your time. I know it's going to be hard to find, but he is constantly, he's constantly harassing this young lady. She's just happy to have a job.
Just harassing this young lady.
And yelling at her all day. This is when he jumps up on the desk and points at her. That's one of the memes. She's trying to tell him, she's been working overtime and stuff, and it's hard to find this thing. And he goes into this hilarious rant about how he knows it's a bad job. He wouldn't give it to his worst enemy, but he's glad she has it.
Alva, there is no one else in this entire office that I could possibly ask to share such a horrible job.
He's going crazy, and I don't know why he's all in this lady's grill.
Yeah.
Then at one point he eats a cockroach. And he didn't eat one cockroach. It took 2 takes. And Peter, don't get mad at me because it wasn't me.
We didn't do it.
He ate 2 live cockroaches.
2
in real life. CGI did not exist.
No.
You could not CGI a little roach kicking its legs.
Couldn't marvel your way out of this shit.
Nicolas Cage has eaten 2 more cockroaches than everybody I know.
I know a couple people who've eaten cockroaches.
Man, I'm glad I don't know anybody that's eaten a cockroach.
You know what I'm saying?
Even though I would like to meet Nicolas Cage.
Live a little.
But anyway, so he starts going real crazy. Then he goes to a Halloween joint, probably Spirit of Halloween, but before they had that, to buy fangs.
Yeah.
Because I guess his aren't coming in fast enough.
When did Hot Topic come out? Well,
sometime around him, but I'm not sure.
You know what I'm saying? He could have got it there.
He could have got it there, but for some reason he's broke. and he can't buy the ones that are realistic.
He got a good job.
He has to buy the plastic, like 99 cent. I think they're $1.99 in the movie.
Yeah. With inflation, that's like $1,000.
Those would be $70 nowadays. So he goes to a club, and this is where you get the most. I will warn you about what's about to happen. This is where you get the most white people dancing in the whole movie. It's a long montage, right? He goes,
a lot of hands in the air.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And this was well before white girls started to have booty, so a lot of flat booty shaking. So shout out to J-Lo.
No more like nothing like this. It's more like
it's everything
side to side,
everything
like,
side to side,
lateral moves.
Everything side to side, and white people dancing, no shoulders, baby, just all straight up and down. So anyway. He goes in there, meets a lady, and even though he's wearing fangs, she for some reason talks to him. I wouldn't do that. That's weird. And he proceeds to bite her neck and leaves her
with his real teeth.
Bloody. Yeah. So she's bleeding out. He goes and finds Jessica Biel's and starts harassing her, talking about she turned him into a vampire and that she's a vampire.
Here's the twist.
She ain't a vampire.
She's a goddamn vampire!
Nah.
She just some chick.
She's a lady. That he's apparently lust after, I guess.
And so then he gets kicked out of the club. At this point, he is flat lost his mind. I think this is after Alva shoots him with blanks.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Because he R-words her. It's not on camera. This is where I lose all sympathy for his character, because it's kind of funny at first, even though he's over the top. I'm thinking it's because it is a dark comedy. That's what they're trying to go for. And it is funny in a lot of parts. But once that happens about the end of the second act, I lose like any real sympathy for the guy. And I'm hoping that somebody gets him. And so for the last little part of the movie,
K-words him.
Yeah. Puts him out of his misery. Van Helsing's him, if one will. So at that point, he's walking around the streets of New York with a big wooden plank, begging people to stake him through the heart.
Yeah. Little note, he actually did that shit.
They did that. Those were not extras.
Those weren't extras in the film.
They were going up to. He's covered in blood.
Yeah.
He's carrying, and the stake wasn't like a little bitty stake. It was like a plank of wood that had broken off, that had a point to it, and he's begging people to kill him. Meanwhile, Alva's brother, and I don't remember his name, but Alva's brother has found out what Nick Cage did, which is, again, sexual assault, which is a serious issue, guys.
I thought he killed her.
No, he didn't kill her.
Oh, you already?
No, he just did the next worst bad thing you can do. So, which is not on camera again. If it was on camera, it would be even worse.
Yeah.
You don't have to show that on camera. For all movies in infinitum, you don't have to show that on camera.
Yeah.
You can imply it.
Yeah.
You can imply it. We get it. We know what happened. Anyway, so now he is using his couch as a coffin. He's blacked out all the windows. The sun is deadly at this point, you know. So he's under the couch, and I think it's Emilio is her brother's name. I don't remember. Yeah. Maybe I'm just being racist.
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but he breaks into the house, or to the apartment, which I would have done too if somebody did that to my sister. So he breaks in there, and Nicolas Cage rolls over when he breaks into his apartment, holds the stake at his heart, begs him to kill him, and he kills him.
Yeah.
Which is good at that point. You know, you don't want that guy to live anymore. Paul Lowe, I think, is his name in that movie. So, that is a recap.
Yeah.
Theo,
this
take it away.
Movie is the essence of Hold My Beer. It's every single step of the movie gets weirder, and there's mimes in this shit.
There's mimes.
Mimes show up in this.
2 mimes.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you can't have just one.
And they're just mime. Randomly, because who is the mime gonna mime?
Who gonna mime to another mime? You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand mime.
You know what I'm saying?
Even though I was in a mime troupe for a little while.
Oh,
that's
God.
embarrassing.
That's horrible.
Yeah, a church mime troupe.
Oh, yeah. That's called a praise team.
It was the worst.
Mm-hmm. Never could. Anyway, yeah, it was just crazier and crazier and crazier. The epitome of white people shit.
It was a very white movie.
It was just so many things that I just Nicolas Cage used to be one of my favorite actors as a kid because I saw The Rock, and it was that sweet spot up in the Nicolas Cage. Like, he was going so crazy, and then like he hit this good like butter. You know what I'm saying? Like Face Off. Which it was weird, but his character was supposed to be weird. They were like, "Oh my god, this guy's good."
But you got to remember that all those roles that you loved are just derivatives of this. This is the original Cage out.
Yeah.
This is when he went full Nick Cage for the first time,
undiluted Cage,
and somebody should have stopped him.
Yeah.
Somebody should have stopped him at certain points.
A little bit. Dilute the Cage a little.
I think the only reason he got away with it is because, like I said, it was a $2 million movie, which even back then wasn't all that much money for movies. It did only make $700,000.
It did.
Because a lot of people still don't like this movie. So it did not come close to making its money back.
No, it did not.
But
I get it.
Overall, Theo, what
I'm giving this movie, and just unfortunately, I'm gonna give it a 3.
A 3.
I'm giving it a 3.
A 3 is the lowest watchable score.
Yes, it's the lowest watchable movie because it is Nick Cage being the best that Nick Cage can fucking be, and you can't. If you don't see, you're gonna be pissed off the whole movie, but you're just like, I gotta watch this train wreck.
It is a train wreck.
You know what I'm saying? I have to watch this.
And if you are a Cage aficionado, which I consider myself one, I would also Cageist, yes. So Theo gives it a 3. I am gonna give it a 3.5.
Just gotta give it a 3.5.
Now, if you are a Cage aficionado, I give it a 4. So if you are a big fan of Nick Cage, which everybody should be. One Nick Cage movie I would just suggest real quick, The Color Out of Space. A lot of people haven't seen that. Nick Cage plays an H.P. Lovecraft character, so very nice. So that's it for us. I don't think we've selected our next movie yet. So who knows? It is Theo's turn. I'm sure he'll pick something that I'm really going to enjoy.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. For me at Tim Mathis Comedy.
At Theodore Comedy on everything. And I have that GoFundMe going.
Don't forget about Theo's GoFundMe. Yes. We are doing his comedy taping for Comedy Dynamics.
June 15th.
That is June 15th in Houston. We'll have information about that down below.
Yeah, man.
And have a good one.
Hey, guys.
We'll see you guys later.